Hey, Michelle, I went out to the location where we're going to be filming, where we're going to start filming.
This week.
We're already filming.
Yes. Now. But we just started.
Yes.
But you went before we started.
Yes. And oh my goodness. I don't know if you're ready for this.
Really? You mean the distance?
Yeah. Not only the distance, but the area of Los Angeles this is.
I'm very familiar with it.
Because last season we filmed out in Simi Valley.
Correct.
And I think the audience knows it. What happened is Netflix and Amazon TV and all these streaming services have rented out all of the available sound stages. These are the places we film
like
our
in
show.
Hollywood.
In Hollywood. They've rented them all. They've put on, not only have they put them on hold, but they've paid up front to keep them on hold, like paying in advance for a lease. So, which has forced a lot of productions like ours out into the Goonies.
The suburbs
beyond.
I live out in the boonies.
Yeah. Well, and where we were before, it was closer to you.
It's 23 miles. So it was closer to me than where we're about to go, where we are now.
Right.
But it was different because Simi's a city. It's a suburb, but it's a city.
Yeah.
Where we're going is not. It's more country.
Right.
It's a lot of cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of farms.
So I was looking to find a place to rent out there because I don't want to drive all that way. I that's the worst part of Los Angeles is all the driving. You have no problem with it, Michelle.
No, I don't.
Well, I don't understand you.
I'm weird.
I get frustrated because I'm paying attention to what everyone's doing and I can see everyone's doing the wrong thing.
Driving's my therapy. I listen to podcasts. Mm-hmm. I listen to TV shows. I listen to a bunch of things when I'm driving. Do you
let people in, like if they want to sort of skirt in?
I do.
Yeah.
I do because we're all in this together.
I let them, if they're ballsy enough to do it, I do. But I don't necessarily just let everybody
No, I don't let everybody in.
Yeah.
I'm still a New Yorker through and through.
Yeah.
But if I see somebody who's like for me, if I'm panicking because I have to get off and I wasn't paying, right. I'm going to let you in. But if you're being a dick about it, I'm going to pull up to the bumper, baby.
Yeah. Well, this is happening in all the major cities, this kind of traffic. I know Atlanta is really, really bad with traffic. And then LA is notorious.
LA and New York.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And going to Kennedy Airport, it's like there is a train, but it takes you so long. This is what needs to happen in
Central London. It's pretty shitty too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone long ago made the decision that rapid transit in LA was not going to be a thing.
No, and I know you love it.
I like in New York. I jump on the train.
No. In LA, we were talking about the LA.
I did, but it's still hard to get there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Still hard to get there
because it doesn't go everywhere.
And the thing about buses here is that if you jump on a bus, you still arrive there the same time that you would if you were in your own car.
Correct.
It's just that in your own car, you don't have to sit in someone's pee.
Right.
Or maybe not. Maybe you pee yourself. I don't know. But I told you about that one time I jumped on a bus and I put my hand down first to
check the seat.
I don't know why I put my hand down first. I just sort of put it down to sit down, and it was
not wet.
Soaking wet.
It was not.
It was soaking wet.
What did you do?
I thankfully had a napkin in my bag and I sat in another seat. I said that just like Valerie Cherish again.
You did.
That's all I do.
That's because you just watched it.
I just watched it,
so you have her cadence.
They come back, yeah. Anyway, so I think the city planners did us such a disservice. There's a urban legend that somehow some tire company was behind us in LA not getting a subway.
But we do have a subway.
Yeah, finally, now in 2018.
We've been having it, Rude. Nobody uses it.
Well, the subway doesn't come to where I am.
No,
I'd have to drive.
It starts in North Hollywood,
subway.
I think.
Yeah, I'd have to drive to the train at Hollywood and Highland.
Yeah.
And then here in West Hollywood, there are no trains. And if I couldn't really...
There ain't nothing where I live.
It's
nothing.
Crazy.
But what you said, I don't know how you do it. It was a trade-off and I mentally switched off. I think a lot of it was because I grew up in New Jersey and would go to New York City and I would take the train. And then when I got old enough...
take the path?
I would drive. I'd take the path when I lived on that side of the tunnel. But in my mind, and I used to smoke when I drove, so it was like, I didn't care. I'd just sit there, listen to my music, smoke my cigarettes. It became like therapeutic. So now it's a trade-off because my daughters go to public school and I live so far out because that's where the public schools are decent, that when I made the mental switch of I'm going to be living out there for them to go to high school there, I'm going to have to deal with driving. My husband hates to the point where he said as soon as they graduate, we're moving closer to the city. But I have an issue with closer to the city because you don't get as much for your money. And it's like this. I don't want to end up there forever.
I think it's worth it to not have to drive somewhere. One of the reasons I love being in West Hollywood is because if I wanted to, I'd jump on my bike or I walk someplace. I can go wherever, and I don't have to get in the car. Because when you hear people talk about LA traffic, imagine it, but then double it by 100.
You're right. You're not even exaggerating.
It's not. It's no joke. It ain't no joke.
I have sent videos to people who don't believe me, especially getting on the 405 at 5 o'clock, 5:30. I have sent videos to people to show them because my doctor's in Santa Monica. So there's times where he only has a 3 o'clock available. So by the time I'm done, it's 4 o'clock. So guess what I'm riding right into?
Yeah.
You're literally getting on the 405 and doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's a parking lot. There has to be a better way, and we just haven't found it yet.
You know what? When you said that, I thought of Robin S. Love for Love. She goes, there has to be, I can know the melody, a better way. I'm giving you love. Whatever.
I love that song.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so.
I thought of there's got to be a way. Mariah.
That's right. Mariah.
Yeah, great.
All right, so yes, we were talking about.
We got on a tangent. How do we get, the new studios.
The new studios
so
are
it's in
very
a different
far.
kind of, very
it's
far.
In a different kind of place.
Were you
I'm
able
not
to
gonna
find a
say
place
out
to
loud.
rent?
No. I'm going to have to at least drive at least 10 minutes.
Oh, no. 10 whole minutes?
Well, but we do 14-hour days, so I don't want to get in traffic. I mean, I can do 10 minutes, but I don't want to do anything. I want to be able to roll up.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. Because here, when we were at Hollywood Center Studios, I could literally roll out of bed and be in that makeup chair in 6 minutes.
I know. And you can stop at Good Earth and pick up an acai bowl.
I certainly could.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It sucks, but it is what it is. I guess we have to look at it like we're so grateful that we're still going, season 11, and that people still want to see our show. Where we're filming now is very inconvenient for me too. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
It's not only, I'm coming from way north, but it's also that way.
Yeah.
So it's not straight down. It's that way.
Well, if I'm renting a house, you can crash.
And
at
I
the
will.
pad. Yeah.
If you find one.
Yeah.
I don't know how many VRBOs and Airbnbs there are in that town.
Well, I actually did go and see one that was in, I won't say.
Yes.
But
in
it
the
was,
area.
it was 20 minutes away. I'm like, 20 minutes away because I can't. One of the ideas was to either get a car service so that at least I'm not the one driving, but I still don't want to be in a car that long.
Where do they have the girls?
What?
In a hotel, a
yeah.
local hotel?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It's not like it's a vacation spot.
Right.
Whereas See Me, believe it or not, people will go see the Manson Ranch and things
the
like
Reagan Library.
The Reagan Library's out there.
Yeah, and
See Me has
the
a
porn,
lot.
the porn capital.
Porn capital. That's Chatsworth.
Yeah, well, that's right next door to Simi Valley. So a porn star's got to live somewhere.
Simi Valley.
They got to film somewhere.
Yeah.
How many pornos have you seen in a hotel room?
Plenty.
Yeah. So there you have it. So there are plenty of hotel rooms out in Simi Valley, although we couldn't get our old studio from Simi Valley this year. So much production happening.
So much.
So much production.
So much. But the one that we have, we'll take and we'll do and we'll figure it out. But
we'll figure it out. It is summertime. It's going to be very hot.
It's going to be so hot.
But
Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables on the sides of the road.
This is what we do to bring you this show. Where'd you get the Italian horn?
Well, I got the Italian horn from eBay.
Oh, okay.
I got it so cheap and it's 14 karat.
So cheap. What's so cheap?
Well,
to
like $80, $70.
No, that's great. That's a great price. Yeah.
So I got that. And then I got the, because I got my DNA test back again. I did my second one.
So
have you
black?
done any yet?
No, I haven't. When I was at...
I'm not black.
I got an Ancestry.com thing. It's in the other room.
Okay, I didn't. It's the only one I haven't done. I did my heritage and 23andMe.
Right.
After we interviewed Suzanne Summers, she talked about 23andMe.
Yes.
And I did that one and I did my heritage. And I read an interview. I've read multiple interviews that said, if you do 5 different ones, you're going to get 5 different answers.
Really?
And so I was like, I'm going to do 5 different ones.
Okay.
So far, I'm on 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to do Ancestry next.
Yeah.
There are some things the same. Italian is there. Ashkenazi. Jewish is there. This one says I'm 23% Iberian from the Iberian Peninsula between Spain and Portugal. So there's that. And it also said that I'm 4% West Asian, which my husband said on a map means like Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
And also...
Oh, you'd look really good in harem pants. Is that racist?
No. I also don't... I think that's Egyptian. Isn't
Oh.
it? 4% Greek.
Okay.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the normal... I got between 15 and 20% Irish and Scottish, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they were different, but some common threads.
Sure. Yeah.
So again, the more I read, the more people are saying, yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on this. They can't really do extensive DNA because it's really pricey. So this is like a glossed over
I see.
DNA situation.
Right.
But there is some validity to it.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm going to try to get on that show. What's it called? Finding Your Roots?
that's what I want to do.
What's his name?
I know what
Gates.
you're talking about.
I see a Gates. Gates.
Is it Gates?
I see a Gates.
Who do you think you are?
No. That's a Lisa Kudrow show, isn't it?
Well, she did that. She was on it.
Oh, because I think that's her.
Oh, she produces
that
it.
show. Something.
But
Gates.
that's where it goes back, your ancestry.
Yeah.
Henry Louis Gates Jr.
Henry Louis Gates.
And who's
Jr.
that?
He's this guy who I think wrote the book on Finding Your Roots, and then he's got this show on PBS with all these celebrities doing who and he
Ancestry?
discovers. Yeah. He does that.
I want to do that.
Yeah. Why do you want to know so bad? Is it
Because
you're
I'm adopted. Yeah.
Yeah, but you met your birth mother.
I met my birth mother. She died 2 years ago, but my birth grandmother's still alive. All she knows is that her mother was from Ireland, which I'm there all the time with Ireland's Got Talent. So I want to do some, I want to go. And she's one of 13 and they were dirt poor. Most of them were split up and put into foster care because they weren't being able to be afforded.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't afford the kids. So a lot of them don't know. She was told the mother was from Ireland, the father's from Germany. And I have no Germany in my tree. So I think that because of the kids were all separated, nobody really knows the truth.
Right.
So this would help with that. My biological grandfather was from Hungary, Hungarian accent, the whole nine. There was no Hungarian in my tree either, unless that comes into the Ashkenazi, which is the Eastern European, and Hungary was in on that.
Right.
He wasn't Hungarian Jew.
So the two arms of Judaism, there's Ashkenazi
And Sephardic. Yeah. Sephardic are the Spanish.
Oh yeah.
That way, the darker skinned. Sephardic are Saudi, Persian, all that is Sephardium.
Yeah.
And our producer's Sephardic, aren't you Sephardic? Ashkenazi? Yeah. Oh. Ashkenazi
I think he's leotarded is what he is.
That's a different sect.
Yeah.
That's the third. Ashkenazi is the European. That way.
Right.
So I don't have Sephardic.
I don't know if I've considered going and doing that thing. I think the only way I would do it is if Louis Gates, what's his name?
Henry Louis
Gates did it, because I want the real deal if I'm going to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But this is still fun, and
Also,
you
I
should
feel
do
weird
it.
about sending in my stuff, my DNA to some
Barbara
company.
Streisand going to get it and clone your
And
ass?
clone and turn me into a dog or something.
I think you should do it because
But
it's
isn't
fun.
that weird though? Giving up all your DNA to some company who's putting it in their computer database.
Yes, you're watching too many movies, but
Yeah.
yes. But you could also do is not give your real name.
I assume that they don't ask for your real name.
Well, yeah, you give a name.
Oh,
I give my
I give them Dorothy Spornak.
perfect. But that's all they'd need to know. But here's the cool thing with the one through 23andMe. I found my biological parents, so it's not a big deal. But if I hadn't, a cousin on my mother's side reached out to me and said, "We're matched in DNA. We match DNA. This is who I am." And she's my cousin. So I would have found my mother through her.
Oh, I see.
If I
So
hadn't.
let me just recap. You sent this stuff in.
You
and
send
they
it
told
in. You become part of a database.
and somehow
They will say,
yeah.
you match these people. Your most amount of DNA matches with these people who have done it also. You're related.
Okay.
And that my cousin sent me a message through 23andme.com and said, "I'm from New Jersey. This is who I am."
And have you contacted her?
She then in turn said, "Oh my God, I now know who you are. Lisa and Kim are my cousins. You're their sister."
I see.
But my point in saying this is, if I didn't know who my mother was and
You would have
everything
found it
turned
through
up
this,
nil,
yeah.
I would have found her through
Because you're a
this.
regular Jessica Fletcher.
That Felcher.
Murder
Jessica
She Wrote.
Felcher.
Yes,
Yes.
Jessica Felcher. She solved the mystery.
That's cool though.
It is cool.
Because
It
I
is
wouldn't
cool.
have been, I was like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Are you looking for money?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to
Right.
be able to find a cousin through that. Whereas normally I wouldn't have been able to.
Well, I know a lot of my cousins, and I am not.
And you're not interested
Any
to
of them.
match a DNA. For an adopted kid, it's pretty awesome.
I guess it is. Yes. Yeah.
But for people who don't want to, know what's already standing, people are like, please adopt me. Get me
Yeah.
out of this DNA.
Oh,
But
my-
I think you should do it just for shits and giggles. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know I was West Asian or Greek.
Or maybe you're West Indian.
I mean, I thought I was. I was
Uh-huh.
begging for sub-Saharan African. My husband got 1%.
1% of what?
Sub-Saharan African.
Okay. Well, that's normal, though.
You know what percentage?
I think it's very normal, though, for people to be all over the place with that stuff,
Of course.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, we are all, and Annihilation, that movie had a little bit to do with the fact about cell migration.
Sure.
We're all born of this one
Yep.
single cell
Yep.
that mutated, not
Mhm.
mutated, it split.
Yeah.
And became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8, and so on and so forth.
Oh, my God. That sounds like math.
It's a lot of math.
Yeah.
But the point is, we are all the same person.
We are the same person.
It's bizarre.
Isn't that bizarre? And isn't it interesting that the ego wants to separate us? It wants to say, oh, no, we're over here and you guys are over there. So stay on your side of the thing. And,
Yeah.
it's so
But
funny.
that concept of the ego too, Rue, is you're a lot more progressed and evolved than the average human. My husband is now reading The Power of Now.
Mm-hmm.
He's been reading it. It takes a long time to really soak it in.
Yeah.
Then by accident, he plugged his iPod into, you had impregnated my iPod
Yeah.
years ago with,
Yeah.
with the audiobook.
Yeah.
And we
Of
were
a New Earth.
Of a New Earth.
Yeah, which is the same book as Power of Now. It says he went back and he somewhat simplified The Power of Now, which is a little harder to read.
It's very heady.
It's very heady.
Yeah.
A New Earth, same material. It's easier to digest.
So I have the audio version that Rue put on my podcast that I hated it on my podcast because I'd be running or
On your
working out.
iPod.
Yeah. And it would all of a sudden be like a Donna Summer mix into like a new earth.
Yes.
But and Eckhart Tolle's voice is very monotone.
Yes.
And anyway, the point is he didn't know he had put it on his thing and it popped up and it was right at the right time,
Yeah.
the right quote that he needed.
Yep.
And he's like, where did this come from? And I go, how do you have Eckhart Tolle? He goes, I must have downloaded it by accident from when, because we were sharing the same iTunes
Isn't
library.
it funny? We're going to go to break, but isn't it funny how coincidences happen?
They're
but
not
They're
coincidences.
not coincidences. In fact, those things, when they happen like that, are there to remind you that you are exactly in the right rhythm that you should be.
Yeah.
In fact, you should. A lot of people say, "Oh my God, that was so weird." The opposite is true. That's not weird. That's normal.
Same thing with deja vu.
Deja vu. That is a normal occurrence when you are in sync with what getting information that you really needed at that time. That's normal.
Yeah.
What's not normal is when you are out of sync
Fighting
and
it.
you're not getting that information in sync.
Yes.
It's an interesting thing, and it's an interesting shift in your consciousness to expect miracles, to expect miraculous, interventions and occurrences.
I tried to teach them. My daughters go through this with their anxiety and their depression and taking the weight of the world.
Both of
on.
them?
Both of them. Lola too. Don't even get into it.
Ah,
It's different in a different way. It manifests.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
But thank God for therapy and medication
Yeah.
for both. This is just the lot that I'm given.
Yeah.
But for me to try to tell them in certain instances to take the ego out of it, I have to practice what I preach. A, and I try every day of my life to be conscious of it. It's not easy. B, to tell a kid that concept when we as adults are having a hard time understanding removing the ego. Do you know what a mind fuck that is?
I know, especially since they're just now learning the rules of being human in the society, and then to tell them, okay, flip it. It's like, wait a minute. It's hard for them to get it.
Really hard. And I understand how hard it is for a 16 and a 17-year-old to understand it.
17 too?
17 to 16 and 17. Lily's going to be 8. Oh my God, it's all coming up.
Liz's
Anyway.
going to be 18?
18 on St.
That's
Patrick's Day.
ridiculous.
I know.
Oh, you mean,
Yeah.
18?
18.
Are you sure?
18. 18 years ago, I birthed her.
Oh my God.
I know. Crazy.
I remember.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
It's real.
Oh, gee. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more of everything.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Style. Now, some of us have it and some of us don't.
Amen,
But just
sister.
because a sense of style seems elusive for some, doesn't mean you can't attain it. It's not impossible.
Nope.
Then there's no time like the present to discover the style you never knew you had. And you can, with a little help from Stitch Fix.
Now, Stitch Fix has reimagined the way we find and buy clothes because it's so convenient.
It's so convenient.
Stitch Fix understands that life gets busy, so just tell them your sizes, your favorite types of clothes, and how much you want to spend, and your personal stylist, yes, we said personal stylist, will pick out clothing for you based on your preferences. You can try before buying. So if an item doesn't fit or you don't like the way it looks, don't even worry about it. Just send it back free of charge. And I did this whole thing because I joined Stitch Fix. You log on, you ask they'll ask you basic questions about your sizes. They'll give you pictures even to say, I like this better than this. Your styles, your budget, right from your laptop, smartphone, or tablet. Your personal stylist then springs into action, hand selecting 5 brand new clothing items just for you. I know, personal stylist sounds like it's, something only the rich and famous can have, but I'm telling you, you can too. Stitch Fix's styling fee is only $25, which is actually waived if you keep all 5 items. And since your personal stylist only uses your preferences to pick your clothes, you're still in complete control. And Rue, once your items arrive, you try them on and you only pay for what you keep. If you don't like something or you need another size, just send the items back. No questions asked. Shipping is always free both ways. It's so customizable. Get your fix whenever you want or sign up to receive scheduled shipments. The choice is yours. It's all up to you. We love Stitch Fix. Hurry to stitchfix.com/Rue to get started now. Keep all 5 items in your box and you'll get 25% off your entire purchase. That's stitchfix.com/Rue. stitchfix.com/RU.
Now, Michelle, you play video games. I've never
do.
played a video game in my life, even Dragopolis.
You don't play video games?
I don't play video games, Cho. I have other things to do. When I want to waste some time or just drift off, I'll read a book or I'll watch television or watch a movie.
Me too. I do
Listen
all
to
of
music.
that. They say video games keep your brain going too, like Alzheimer's and stuff. It keeps your brain going.
I would think it's the opposite.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's been proven. I do a lot of those brain games too. Like you have to think. And then I do a lot of the match 3, like, Christmas Sweeper and Bejeweled and all those. Anyway.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know, I'm speaking Greek to you.
Yeah.
But I insist and I implore everybody listening to play video games on silent. That's what I do. So you get the benefit of the brain. But what happens is, and the reason I freak out on my daughters when they have games with music on, and Lily, for the most part, does not listen because she was obsessed with a computer game called Undertale, so much so that she bought the soundtrack to it. Like she was obsessed with it. And I know the music now when I hear it come up on her MP3 player. But anyway, the point of me saying this is I used to play a video game in the very beginning of video games, like portable ones.
Miss Pac-Man.
Called Tetris.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Right.
that one.
Tetris, I would play because it's an OCD game. So I would play it day in and day out. And I would play it with the music on until one night I couldn't fall asleep because the music was in my brain. It was an earworm. It was making me go insane. And I realized there's a downside to playing video games with repetitive music.
Was there a song did it sound like the Venga Boys? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, that's, what game is that?
Super Mario?
It's one game that has
You're
that.
asking me over
It
here.
has that.
Yeah.
That's a video
Dun,
game.
dun, 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 dun.
Bingo boys is coming.
Yeah.
There's a video game that has that.
So was the Tetris
it was
addictive
it had
like
its
that?
own. Yes, it's addictive. But the music was an earworm and it made me sick. It was a brain worm. It was going over and it was like like I was going crazy.
Was it what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more.
No, but I
Wasn't
wish
that?
it was.
Sing the Tetris song.
I
to
don't
me.
know it.
Are there words to it?
No,
It's
it was
just
just the music.
It's like a dun 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 dun. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like one of those things that goes over and over. And I realized this is infecting my brain.
Yeah.
And it's not good for me. So now I never, and as a matter of fact,
You never listen with the sound.
never.
on.
And if it's on by accident, I get so angry that when I buy a game, the first thing I do is go into the settings, all sounds off, all music off.
Oh my God, you're buying games, and I know what
Yes,
this
I buy
sounds like to
games.
people because it's not part of my life. So I can't
I love
imagine
them.
buying a game. I'd rather buy shoes.
Me too, but you're talking 99 cents.
Oh, they're
Rue.
99 cents.
Yes.
Well, That's like it's a percentage of.
I love Trivia Crack. I love Fight List is my favorite at the moment.
Oh.
Word Whizzle, Choco Christmas. Still, the Christmas ones are left.
That sounds
Snoopy
racial.
Pop.
That sounds racial, actually.
Toon Blast, Stick Hero. Yeah, I play all those. And I do like, the Animal Crossings and the ones like that too. But my kids have been raised on video games. Lola does not give a shit about video games. Lily has her Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
She's obsessed with it. Mario, I told you her favorite YouTubers or podcast people are called the Game Grumps. She's obsessed with it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, listen, I went open housing yesterday because on Sundays here in Hollywood, I like to drive around and go to open houses in Beverly Hills and Hollywood Hills.
And Rue calls it the flats of Beverly Hills.
The flats of Beverly Hills. I've been looking
because
there.
that's what you're doing intention work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But yesterday, I walked into a house and...
Do they know who you are when you walk in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the real estate person she goes, oh! And she said, hey, come here. Out of the back room walks Anastasia. I'm used to saying Anastasia because of...
My friend Anastasia?
Yeah, Anastasia.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
She's selling her house.
She's selling her house. Yeah,
Yes.
she's moving to
Florida.
Fort Lickerdale.
Yeah.
Wilton Manors.
Beautiful home.
Yeah.
She sent me the listing.
Yeah. So
that house is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and I've been looking. It's not big enough for me though, but it's this.
Yeah,
it's many different levels.
And that backyard.
And
with the
as
pool.
I approach my golden years, I don't want to stay
No.
stairs.
You don't.
Stairs.
There's a lot of stairs.
There's a lot of stairs. So, but it's a really adorable house, and because I need some place to put all of my stuff. I have too much stuff.
Yeah.
I have, so anyway, it was a cute surprise.
Yeah,
But
beautiful
it's always
home.
interesting to go into people's homes. That's why I always, when people are in from out of town, that's the activity I take them on Sundays is to go to open houses because it tells you everything you need to know about Los Angeles and who lives here and
how much money people have here.
Exactly. Their relationship to money or their relationship to abundance. It's very informative.
Yeah.
I love it. I could usually do about six in a day.
And what do you hope to get out of it?
I'm taking in information. Like even when I go shopping at the mall or something, a lot of times I won't buy anything, but I'm looking to see what's happening at retail for my own social files. And then if there is something brilliant, I'll get it. But I'm looking to see, because I do need a new house and I want a new house.
We're still waiting for this bubble to burst.
I know.
And everybody keeps saying it's here. It's going to happen. It's really soon.
I've said this. On my street, there are 6 houses under construction because my street, it's an old neighborhood. And so every time the house sells, they tear down the house.
And by the way, they're not cheap.
They're not cheap. They build one of those, those houses, they're box. There's a square box and then black metal and then glass.
They're doing all those in Malibu now too.
Yeah, that's all there is. Those ones are not going to age very well.
No. Those are all the ones that they're doing in Malibu, like on the water when you drive.
Yeah.
They've become that like neo, whatever
they
that is.
look prefab in a way.
Yeah.
But and there are a lot of those McMansions here in West Hollywood that they tear down smaller houses and build those things. But I like a modern Mission Spanish style where they take the Spanish style but they build a new house with that same style.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
There's one in my development like that every time David and I will walk every night. We walk about 3.5 miles. And every time we pass it up.
Are you looking for dates?
Always looking for dates. Every time I pass it, it's my favorite house. Never expected it to be up for sale. Mm-hmm. And it's up for sale.
Oh, wow.
It's gorgeous, 6,000 square feet. I mean, a house way too big for us.
Is
but
it?
Yeah, it's
with your
remarkable.
eyeglass collection?
My eyeglass collection alone with my shoes. I could fill 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Although I see you trying to come for me.
Yeah, we're at my office and I have one of those racks, those spinning racks.
Yeah, it's a standing rack.
A standing rack that has all of my
and that's
glasses.
the one. The other one, the smaller one, is
that's the one I got you.
Correct.
And you have yours filled?
Filled.
And see, you could probably use the one that I have.
I could fill that one too.
Yeah. And I have all my eyeglasses
and
in
your
there,
sunglasses
and sunglasses. But I have so much stuff. I do want to let go of stuff. But
same.
Can I show you these shoes I got at
Cabazon?
Calvin Klein?
Oh,
in New York.
yes.
He's doing
You went to Calvin?
I'm not a Calvin person.
No.
I was at Barney's in New York.
Yeah.
And I saw them there. And Ralph Simmons is now doing.
Oh, is he the
Calvin
head
Klein.
designer?
Yeah. And he's doing this cowboy boot.
Oh my God! Shut
Look at that.
the front door.
This is that's like a pony. It's like a pony.
It's a cow.
Well, yeah, it's obviously it's cow hair or something, but
it's probably
done with what's that spotted?
If I had to guess, it would be
Dalmatian.
There's not. Well, it kind of is Dalmatian,
it's
but
spotted like a Dalmatian,
like a Holstein cow.
Yeah, and it's got this red. It's a cowboy boot. And It's got this red stripe down the side, and this tip here.
That's a CK on it.
Yeah, it's a
which looks like an Irish dancing clog.
Yeah, at the very tip, the tip of the toe, it has a metal plate.
Like a chrome plate that says Calvin Klein.
That says a CK on it. But I'd like to believe that the CK is for Shaka Khan.
Same.
Yeah.
And it's black and white and red all over.
Yeah. And you know what I did? Is
what? Oh my God, those are so ridiculous.
These adorable?
Yes.
I went and bought several pairs in different colors and different shapes. And
How many
sizes.
colors?
I have a pastel pink. This not, but this is a
not the pony hair.
This is a calf one. No, this is a calf boot. The one I have is the other ones are ankle boots.
Oh, they're short.
In the same.
Okay.
The same.
That's an actual up to the knee or calf.
Up to the calf
for you. For me, it'd be up to my thigh.
Yeah.
Boot.
So I got maybe 6 pairs or 7.
At Calvin?
Yeah.
All the same designer.
Yeah, 7 pairs maybe.
Oh my!
But I love my Western wear.
I was going to say you will wear them.
I love my Western.
Well, why don't you get rid of some of the? Maybe you can sell some of the other ones.
Get rid of some of the other shoes? Are you kidding?
I sell mine.
You sell your shoes?
I sell mine on eBay and I sell mine DragCon because I got to make room for the new.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of designer shoes.
Well, I could do that with some of the suits that I've worn, like that suit I wore to some award show. I can't wear that again.
Yes, you can sell them. I know
but I'm not going to make any money off of it. It's going to be pennies on the dollar for sure.
No, not necessarily.
But I don't want anybody in eBay saying, "Ooh, child, I'm selling Miss Paul's suit. Y'all better come," because it's creepy.
Okay, it might be creepy, but who cares? If you sell it and make money. See, the whole thing is people will buy it because you wore it.
Right. Well, they do that on open houses. All the real estate.
There you go.
All the real estate people say, "Well, you know who lives here."
Exactly. That's what they do because they think, "Ooh, I want Kathleen Turner's house.
I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that carrot top."
Yes, I want to slip in Ryan Phillippe's pool.
Yes. Ooh, girl.
Yes.
You mean John Claude Van Damme slept in here?
What? John Hamm? Who?
Oh, the Landry sisters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd buy that one.
Yeah.
I'd buy that one. Audrey slept here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
for sure. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. Michelle, you're cooking those Blue Apron meals. They're so delicious, aren't they?
They are not only delicious, they are easy. Listen, if you're a busy parent or a busy person, I started getting these because I have kids who are like, listen, I'm hungry. I run out of ideas to cook. I don't know what to do on the fly. Yeah. But with Blue Apron, I don't have to worry about it because it's all there.
That's right. And it takes the guesswork out of it because you don't have to go to the grocery store and go, oh my goodness, what am I going to cook tonight?
Honey, Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient recipe delivery service in the country for a reason. Their mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone, and they achieve this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. And they offer 3 plans. 2-person meal plan. That's obviously meals that serve 2 people. You can choose from 8 new recipes per week with the choice to receive either 2 or 3 recipes any week. Then there's the family meal plan that we do. They serve 4 people. Choose from 4 recipes per week with the choice to receive either 2, 3, or 4 recipes any week. And then, guys, they have a wine plan.
Hey, y'all.
6 bottles of wine from renowned winemakers delivered monthly. It's convenient with variety. They deliver fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes right to your door that could be cooked in under 45 minutes. And the menus change every week based on what's in season. And it's designed by Blue Apron's in-house culinary team. Flexible, like we went on vacation. Yeah. I just went on the app and I said, skip delivery this week.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then it says, you just unclick it and it's back on.
Yeah.
High quality. Blue Apron sends only non-GMO ingredients and meat with no added hormones. So check out this week's menu and get your $30 off at blueapron.com/Rue. blueapron.com/RU, because you know Blue Apron, it's a better way to cook.
Hey, are you hiring? Have you been posting your position to job sites and waiting forever for the right people to see it?
Well, honey, ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, they identify the people with the right experience, and they invite them to apply to your job. Now, these invitations have revolutionized how you find your next hire. In fact, check this out. 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day.
Just one day?
One day, Rue. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match.
Now, I like the sound of that.
Exactly. The right candidates are out there. ZipRecruiter is how you find them. Businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. And right now, our listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right. That F word is back again. Free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/Rue. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Rue. ZipRecruiter.com/Rue. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Michelle Visage. So, the Walk of Fame. I guess by now the ceremony has already happened.
It's already done. How was it, Rue?
Well, I get verklempt every time I start to think about it because it's all I ever wanted.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
And for me, it means something personally because of you, and you're right by the Go-Go's.
Uh-huh.
Which for me,
I'm next door to the Debbie Reynolds, though, I think.
And
I'm
that's
next
amazing.
star over. Yeah. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
But it's
Where are the Go-Go's?
The Go-Go's are right by where.
Oh, in front of the hot dog stand?
In front of
the hologram.
World of Wonder.
Yeah.
In front of there.
Yeah.
It's just a really full circle in this weird kind of way in my life, that the band that changed and shaped my life growing up is right next to you, who changed and shaped my life in so many ways.
Crazy.
It's just amazing. And what was it like for you, not to get it, because that's all part of the pomp and circumstance, but when they found out that you were, there's a whole thing, you have to go in front of a committee.
Yeah.
And I know Kristen Chenoweth is one of the ones on the committee.
Oh. Well,
And-
I like to believe that it's like that scene in Flashdance where she goes for the audition in front of the table of people and does her last Flashdance.
Uh-huh. That's the big one.
That's the big one.
And what was it like when you heard that you had been approved?
Well, I was about to get on the bus. I know I talk about hating the bus, but I was about to get on the bus here in Los Angeles. I had taken my car in, one of the cars, to the Volvo dealer. It's in 1979
Your mom's.
Volvo. Yes. For an oil change. So I jumped on the bus to go back to West Hollywood.
The bus still running?
The bus still running. And Theron called me.
Why don't you just take an Uber or Lyft?
You know what? Okay. I have an issue with all of that.
You have an issue with that, but
I
not
do.
the bus.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I take Uber. We took an Uber last night to that party.
Okay.
And I take Lyft. I took them all.
Okay.
I just jumped on the bus. There's something nostalgic I have about just jumping on the bus.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was about to get on. Theron called me and said, Rue, you're going to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I said, shut the front door. Shut the front door. And I was so excited. I wish I wanted to tell the other people on the bus.
Right.
But then they'd say, then nigga, why your ass on the bus?
Oh my God. Then you're paying for all of our bus fare. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
So,
So you did it.
I did. I ever since that day, which I found out last year, sometime it was going to happen. Every time I think about the times.
Is it like a pinch myself moment?
It is. Every time I think about the times when I would come up here from San Diego and with my family, and I'd say, well, just drop me off on Hollywood Boulevard because I want to look up and down the boulevard and see all the stars and just, sort of imagine myself on that sidewalk. And
there's nothing like the first time. First time I ever came to LA, I was 21. I was in Seduction. And the first time you come to Hollywood Boulevard, you realize, A, what a dump it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I
but
say
not
that,
as much as it was back then.
correct. They've cleaned it up. And B, how many people are and how far the Walk of Fame goes.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't Palm Springs Walk of Fame, kiddo. This is Hollywood Walk of Fame. And, I had to find, and then go to Grauman's and for me, Marilyn Monroe was everything at that point in my life. So taking my picture with my friggin' Sony disc camera.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it was those moments. And I could imagine you as a kid just seeing RuPaul. Is it going to be RuPaul or RuPaul Charles?
It's going to be RuPaul. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Imagining it. And a friend of mine was talking last night about, wishing or turning thoughts into fruition, or wishing, materializing your thoughts.
Thoughts become things.
Yeah. But when we were talking that, in the world of dreams, there is no real timeline. When I used to do the same thing with Sunset Boulevard. I would walk up and down Sunset Boulevard in the 70s thinking, I want a billboard on Sunset Boulevard. And back then, it was crowded with so many billboards of music stars, of
and
movies. No, this is before Angeline.
Was
in
it?
the 70s. Yeah, she's the 80s.
Oh.
In the 70s, it was this huge thing up and down Sunset Boulevard, littered, crowded with. There are still some on Sunset, but what's on Sunset today is a mere fraction of what there used to be.
I wonder
With
why.
Cher and Diana and Andy Gibb and all these people, the Bee Gees.
Why do you think they took them down?
Because it's too expensive. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I would walk up and down there thinking, I want this to happen. And it's funny because when you go into dream time or wishes or what you want to happen, there isn't a linear timetable. What I dreamt did actually happen. I didn't know it would be 40 years later.
Well, they say when you're manifesting in all these great books, Infinite Possibilities, The Secret, whatever, you can't worry about how.
Yeah, right.
And you can't worry about when.
When, right.
You just have to place your order to the universe.
Yep.
And it's true when we focus so much on what we don't want, that's what the universe hears the loudest. And guess what we get?
Yep.
That.
Yep.
So if you focus like Rue did and look up and down Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset people, looking up and down there, you fulfilled you were self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, because the times when I was walking up and down Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard,
looking for dates.
Don't take less than 100. That was like 75, 76, 77, all in there.
You were young.
Yeah. And actually even earlier, I remember being up here in 74, staying at my cousin's and going up there. So 74, and then Drag Race started in 2009. I think the first billboard on Sunset was probably 2011.
Of Drag Race?
Of Drag Race. So
just a few years after you first envisioned it.
It's just a few years.
Mere
years. I don't know how many years that is.
I've had 2 grown children. And,
yeah.
But,
okay.
But it happened, and that's really what the story is.
It is what the story is. But I think most people, though, are afraid of their dreams coming true.
Well, of course,
they feel more comfortable with the dreams not happening.
Nicole Scherzinger said it best: "Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
You just might get it."
And it's true.
Yeah.
But I think there is a fear of what happens. What happens when I do make it?
Well, you keep planting seeds, baby. You plant seeds all along the way, Johnny Appleseed, and so you can have some apple pie, some apple fritters. Wait, what did you just call me?
A fritter.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. And most people manifest so many negative, and they get it from their parents.
Of course,
it gets passed down, and people don't know the difference between manifesting positive concepts as opposed to negative ones.
Well, it goes, what it boils down to, because I'm a victim of this and my daughters are victims of it, my husband, is choosing fear over love.
Yeah.
And we live in such a scary world, especially now, and a scary society, that fear is the instant thing we go to. Obviously, I don't want that. I'm scared of that. I don't want to get cancer. I don't want to be homeless. These are not things that people set out for in life.
Right.
And because
I don't want a curly perm.
I want a relaxer. Yeah. But instead of saying, I'm whatever. I'm abundance flows my way. I am successful. I am wanted. I am loved. We focus on what we are scared of the most, and we focus on it ad nauseum.
Right.
I don't want to be fat.
obsessed
I'm
with
sick
it.
of being fat. I don't want to be ugly. I don't want to be out of work. And we do obsess over it. And we're obsessing over the wrong things. And people would make fun of me when I was young for writing my name over and over, how I was going to sign
Practicing your
my
autograph.
autograph, when really those are the things you want your kids to do. You want them to dream that big. Maybe that autograph will be when they graduate med school and they're signing their diploma. Whatever. It could be anything. Doesn't mean that every kid is going to want to be a celebrity, a movie star, a princess. It means that they're setting up the thoughts for the future and encourage that.
Yeah.
And it's hard because then kids get caught into the world of their other friends who are telling them, no, and society tells them, no, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not white enough. You're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they focus on that.
Yeah.
And we have to turn shit around, especially with the regime that's in power right now. We have to turn shit around so they know that everything that they want is valid, but to focus on that stuff and not the stuff they don't want.
Yeah, but even that said, I got into show business and I thought that, being famous would feel that God-sized hole in my soul, and that once the whole world said, we love you, that it would my life would be easy street.
This is an important lesson. Kids, listen.
That did not happen. And by the time I was 40 and I stepped away from the business for a while and got into therapy and got sober and all that stuff, I reassessed what it would take to fill that emptiness. And I realized I had to fill that, and not some outside force, some outside entity. It was me that was missing from that equation. And
Because once you took the drugs and alcohol away.
Once you took the drugs and alcohol away, I was left with me. And I had to assess, what do you like? What would it take to get you out of bed? What would it take to motivate you to write a song or get up on that stage or to continue doing this work? And I realized I love creativity. I love colors. I love music. I love dancing and laughter and all that stuff. So that's what motivates me now. I honestly, a lot of times I was doing a lot of that stuff early on to get my father's approval.
Right.
But there was nothing on earth that could wake him up. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Which isn't your responsibility.
None of my business. Like Lil Kim saying, like ashes in the urn, it's none of my concern.
Correct.
But it was my concern because I wasn't educated before. It was a child's concept of fulfillment,
which is fair enough.
And
until we become more enlightened, that's what we strive for.
Yeah.
And as kids, let's be honest, that's all you know.
It's true. You want mommy and daddy's approval.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even my kids now, if I say, I feel like most of the time they don't give a shit. But then there was a time where it's like, I'm really upset and they know it. And they'll come over to me and say, I'm sorry, because they know they let me down. It's not that I yelled at them. It's not that I punished them. It's like, I can't fucking believe that you would do that. And it's not a letdown to me. I'm disappointed that you would let yourself down that way.
Right.
But that's how we teach them. That's the children are our future. And it is up to them, to us, to teach them.
Yeah.
So just like you said a few minutes ago, was you had to figure out how to fill that God-sized hole. God,
I know. My mind goes there
same,
too.
Same,
yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
You had to do it without king-size Snickers and Reese's. You had to do it without weed. You had to do it without alcohol and without a father. So you were left on your own to go. My husband struggles. When I tell you my heart breaks for him with daddy issues. His father's alive. And when I tell you his father is mentally not, he's just checked out. He's never said, I love you. He's never been a father. He's been a worker. They've got 5 kids. My husband's the youngest. The mother's been way more involved. The father will never give him what he wants.
Yeah.
And he's having such a hard time making peace with that. And it's hard to tell somebody, you're going to have to let it go. You're never going to get that from your father.
Right.
And you had to come to the point where you realized you're never going to get that from your dad. You're never gonna.
And I've said this many times right here on this podcast. I also had to take it a step further. It's like, okay, I'm invested in wanting to get my father to say, hey, kiddo, I see you. I finally see you. But I also had to look at what I was getting out of being sort of a victim of his negligence, a victim of his ignoring me. I realized
Getting
that
off on it.
yeah, I got a payoff. Because of that, I got to say to the world, you know what? The world's dealt me a nasty hand. You know what? F you, world. You know what? I have every right to act like this now.
Got it.
Because I've been victimized by the world. So you know what? So I held that victimization.
And justified it.
I justified
Yeah.
it, and I used it as justification for bad behavior.
Interesting.
So in letting that need for my father to recognize me, in letting that go, I had to also ask myself, are you willing to let go of the free pass you get for this behavior? Because that behavior, I had to become accountable for that bad behavior that situation allowed. Did that make any sense what I just said?
Yes.
Okay. So I had to be willing to let go of the payoff I got from being a quote unquote
Well,
victim.
first of all, you had to acknowledge that you were getting a payoff.
Acknowledge it.
And then you had to be consciously willing to say, all right, I'm going to let go of this It's like poppers. You're going to have to let go of the popper payoff.
Please don't say I have to let go of the poppers.
I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to let go of the popper payoff, but consciously going, I really like the way I feel in this, but I have to forego it from now on.
Yeah.
And that's when the work can begin.
That's when, and because you have to leave room for a new consciousness to live.
Yeah.
Because that whole concept of, oh, I'm a victim, I'm victim, and you know what, and I'm going to act out because I have every right to because of what happened. That takes up a lot of space in your consciousness.
A lot of space takes a lot of energy.
Yep.
But it's also the easiest place to go. It happens every day. I see it. I see it with my kids and me because I've played it too. I really.
We all do.
But when I see it, I'm more sensitive to it with my kids and I hate it more than anything, especially being a woman in a man's world. You can't do that. And when I see them, I'm like, out of everything that they do, the victim thing, no, not flying in my house. No way. You're strong. You have a mouth. You have a brain. Use it.
Yeah. Work it out.
Make sure you work it out. Figure it out for yourself. You're old enough now.
Yeah.
But don't be a victim.
But, Hollywood Walk of Fame, Billboard on Sunset, the work, you get to that place and the work is still not done. I have to maintain a spiritual balance and I have to maintain a work ethic. So, getting to that place isn't necessarily a plateau. It's the bottom of the next mountain, So I have to stay engaged. And everyone out there listening, life is a series of challenges, and it's not, what's that thing? It was in Nile Rodgers' book, Le Freak. He's got a book. He says it's not how you get drowned out by the rain, but it's how you dance in the water. Something beautiful.
An analogy, right?
It's an analogy that just says it's the journey.
It is the journey. Yeah. It's not how you get to the finish line. It's
our producer has the quote.
What's the quote?
Life isn't about
surviving the storm.
It's about learning to dance.
It's about learning to dance in the rain. Let's say it one more time. Life isn't about surviving the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Yeah.
Did I screw it up? Yeah.
No, that was right.
Yeah. And there's going to be rain. There's going to be clouds. There's going to be sunshine. All of that. And hopefully
it doesn't matter if you walk. It doesn't matter if you run. It's get to the finish line in your way.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be easy. These things are, especially with the society that we live in, with the madness of the world, the social media, everybody has an opinion. Everybody's an expert. You are the only expert on you, and do what's right for you. But always reach for the best and don't settle for less. If you didn't reach for that billboard on Sunset Boulevard, if you didn't reach for that Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, it's like, you never would have gotten it.
And
you're an unlikely kid.
There were plenty of times when I thought about stopping.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
But somehow I trudged through. All right, so Michelle, after this break, we have our superstar guests.
Ru, whose bed have your boots been under?
Well, several beds.
I heard.
But we'll ask Shania Twain that same
Man,
question.
I feel like a woman.
She's right after this break. Michelle, a mutual friend of ours is going through a very difficult time. And the first thought that came to mind was, why don't you go to Talkspace and create an account so you can have your own personal therapist? Tell things, of course, he's told me certain things, but there are things you can't really tell a friend, a close friend. That's where Talkspace comes in. You could tell someone who relates to you, who you don't have to, it's not like a friend who you might be embarrassed about certain things.
And that happens a lot.
It does happen a lot.
You can't, listen, you have best friends you could tell everything to, and sometimes they can help you. Sometimes they just can't.
Yeah.
The people at Talkspace can because that's their job.
Yes.
It's an online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All you need is a computer with internet connection or the Talkspace mobile app, which to me is the easiest way. That means you can improve your mental health even if you've had trouble making it time for it in the past, which is always an excuse for a lot of people. You can't imagine fitting anything else into your life? Well, with Talkspace, therapy is as easy as sending your therapist a text, a message. Get something off your chest whenever you need to. Talk about everyday challenges at work or at home. Just chat about life. There's no extra commutes, no leaving the office, and no judgments. And remember that therapy isn't just about venting your innermost thoughts or digging into childhood memories. It's also about practical stuff, everyday struggles. We all have them. The Talkspace platform is over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges we all face. So to match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of a traditional therapist, go to Talkspace.com/Ru and use the offer code RU to get $30 off your first month. I'm telling you, you don't have to do it alone. It's Talkspace.com, offer code RU.
We've got our special guest star here. Shania Twain is with us.
How lucky are we?
How lucky are we?
I was telling Shania first time we ever interviewed her, we were on WKTU in New York City.
Oh my goodness, that's right. Because we were getting a lot of country artists because we had just switched over to being a dance station.
But she also had the remix of Still the Wonder?
Right. No. It was the other. It was a ballad they turned into a dance song. But it was Love to Infinity did it.
You got me on that. Yeah.
But the new album is called what?
Now.
It's called Now. Shania Now. Why'd you decide to call it Now?
Well, it's been 15 years since I've had a studio album, and it's been a long transition period from who I was then and who I am now. So this is me now, and it represents who I am today. And there's a lyric on my album that's one of my favorite lyrics, and I think represents the whole concept well. I'm still myself, but I've changed. And, haven't we all? We just evolve, and so this is who I am now.
Yeah, it must be very difficult, especially when so many fans around the world want you to stay as one thing. But we naturally evolve. How do you reconcile that with yourself? Is it lots of therapy?
Well, music, lots of therapy. Music is my therapy, and I need music. I turn to music. That's my shoulder. That's my best friend. I vent in my little solo writing sessions, and I wrote this whole album myself.
Wow.
So a lot of solitary time together, a lot of, therapy just alone and isolated, which I need that. And so I poured my heart out in the album.
Yeah, because I think there are 15, 16 songs on the album.
16 songs.
So in all that time, how many did you write? How many got cut?
Well, I'm an ongoing writer, so I'm always writing. I've got hundreds of songs, but I recorded 21.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just narrowed it down to 16.
And when you sit down to write and you're alone, do they just come to you? Or are you one of those people that has to wake up in the middle of the night, tape recorder, talk about the idea, go back to sleep?
That does happen to me. I do wake up. I dream about ideas. They come to me anywhere, I'm inspired by life and everything around me. And I come up with ideas randomly, which is kind of fun, to be honest, because I don't really consider it a discipline.
Mm-hmm.
The discipline is more in honing in on taking a concept or an idea or multiple ideas and then structuring a 3-minute song out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the discipline comes in and real focus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, so I read in the New York Times that your son loves dance music. How did he get onto dance music? You would think he'd be doing rock or something else. How did the dance music come around for him?
Well, he just turned 16, so I think it's probably just more of a generational thing for him.
Because he's in Europe, though, right?
Age. Yeah, we live in Switzerland, but we spend a lot of time in Bahamas as well. He's all over the place. I mean, we travel everywhere. We're always traveling a lot, so he's very international. I don't know. I think he loves the EDM scene.
It's a Euro flair.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know,
it. Yeah.
he loves
Because, in America, there's always been sort of not a taboo, but a stigma attached to dance music. Not so much anymore.
No, but you're right. Always
But
has.
Europeans have always loved dancing. What was part of the decision for your last your album from 15 years ago to do an international album with all these dance mixes on it? What was that about?
Well, first of all, I love versatility.
Don't we all?
And this album, the current album now, is very versatile within itself. And the music from years ago that I did, I just felt that it had a lot of it had potential to be more versatile within, that the songs had more potential, and it was just fun to take them out of the box a little bit and explore that. It was really more about just experimenting and having fun with that and not being limited by any specific genre.
Yeah. Well, did you ever think, you know what? I'm done with music. I don't need to put out another album.
Well, I lost my voice, my singing voice, for a long time, and I thought I would never put out another album anyway. And felt, maybe it is time to give that up.
What period of time did you not have a voice? What years?
I got Lyme's disease in 2004, and one of the side effects for me was damage to what I would just explain quickly as like the receptors to my vocal cords.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with a lot of issues being able to control my voice. So that was 2004.
Did it present that way? Like, did you know you had it because something was happening with your voice and you didn't know what it was?
No, I knew I had Lyme's disease. I was diagnosed with it in the moment, and I treated it in the moment. But I didn't realize, and then the voice started going, but I was on tour, and I just thought it was the end of the tour, and I thought it was just fatigue.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, I just need to give my voice a rest, and it'll all be fine. And I went home and nested with my young son. He was, just a toddler still, and thinking, okay, yeah, this will all just come back. I need a little bit of time, and it never did.
Oh my God.
And then, after pursuing it, I realized that it was nerve damage to the vocal cords. But
Metaphysically speaking, though, what do you think losing your voice was really all about? Obviously, you have your voice back, but looking back in hindsight, what was that? What did that period mean in a metaphysical, with metaphysical eyes?
Well, I was grieving this huge loss. Like I'd lost. It's like if you were to lose your vision. Imagine if you lost your vision or your hearing. To me, I'd lost one of those vital elements of my existence. My joy, my joy expression was gone, and I was grieving, and it was like something really, really deep in me died, and I grieved all that time. So I'm just grateful that I'm able
That
to
had to
sing
make
again.
it worse.
I'm sure.
Grieving it made it worse. I'm
Because
sure.
you had gone
does,
through
yeah.
that with your parents. You had gone through that before. I mean, when you look at your whole life and you go, oh, there's that period. Oh my God. And then there's this period. I'm just trying, I don't know if there is even an answer to that, but you're in an age where you can see and go, oh, I know exactly what that meant. And how it changed you, how going through it gave you arms of steel. You know what I mean?
And you know what I find so empowering right now in my life, when you talk about age and where we are in our lives at any given time, what is most empowering to me is talking about it.
Yes.
You see, so many things in my life, losses, disappointments, whatever, we all go through them. But I never talked about anything in any depth before. And now I just feel like, what is it? Like, what's with that? It's just so much more. It takes courage to take that step forward.
Yes.
I've got a song on this album called "Swinging with My Eyes Closed," and that explains it best. That term. You got it. Sometimes I feel like I've been going through my whole life swinging with my eyes closed. But you've got to step forward, even when you don't know. You've got to fight for whatever your right is, or for whatever it is that's yours in front of you. But sometimes that means you've got to take that step without knowing what's in front of you.
Sure.
You've got to blindly believe in yourself sometimes. You just we don't know what's around the next corner, and so one loss after the other, one disappointment after the other. You know that more is going to come.
Yeah.
But you can't just freeze and die.
Right.
You got to go forward. You got to go through it.
Right. Yeah, and I guess it is to be expected when you have high highs, and madam, you have had some high motherfucking highs.
Amen.
You know, I mean, in this business, I mean, you know, come on, your career is a storied, amazing.
You're up there with the greats.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, a minute ago, I asked you about the song "Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know" by Britney Spears, and I'm aside from your own talent, I love the male background vocals on your song. I love when a female artist uses male background vocals.
Yeah.
And on "Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know," which you co-wrote, is that correct? The Britney Spears classic, my second favorite Britney Spears song. About that's terrible to say, isn't it?
No, why?
No.
It's my second favorite.
There's a lot of
there's
Britney
a lot of
songs to
Britney
choose
Spears.
from.
Yeah.
Right.
But in the bridge, the male background vocals go, I need to love. I have a cold. I need to let you know. I don't want to be the only one. It does, and it goes really high. And I asked, who is that singing that?
Well, that would be my ex-husband.
I didn't know he sang.
Yeah, on the 3 albums that he produced, it is only he and I on the backing vocals.
All those background
All
vocals.
the backing vocals.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there are no
It's a
other
lot of
vocalists.
extra work, Shania. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about? I have a theory, and I love those 3 albums, and I love the new album, which is called Now, which is out right now. There, you know what? For someone my age, the albums have a nice mixture of 70s rock vernacular that is embedded in my psychology, and a mix of country, which I love country music. That balance is so incredible. Now, when you first heard the first album that Mutt had done, what was your first thought? Because you knew it'd be revolutionary, and you knew that the old guard in Nashville would go, wait a minute, hold up.
What's she doing?
What's going on?
Well, I think that just me growing up listening to, hit radio, top 40 radio in Canada, it appeals to me to hear diversity.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to, in that case, I would be listening to Stevie Wonder, and then the next song might be the Carpenters, and then the next one might be Dolly Parton, and then Glenn Campbell, and then the Eagles, Eric Clapton. I mean, it was just it was a mishmash of genres and styles in the same hour. And so I never felt that there were any limitations as far as what anything is. I didn't know what kind of station was I listening to. I don't know. I'm just listening to great music.
Sure.
So, working with a legendary rock producer didn't scare me. It would appeal to me. I loved the idea of meshing my more like folk style singer-songwriter lyrics and melodies with that edgier rock, and giving the attitude. I mean, I've got the attitude anyway, and it was just fun to it was a good blend.
Infusion.
A good fusion.
Yes.
You've got the right word.
Yeah, that's right. Now, why do you live in Switzerland? What is it about Switzerland that keeps you there?
Stunning.
No, I've got
It's
obviously,
beautiful.
but
No, it is beautiful. But things got really crazy for me for a little while. Or when I guess I would say when it started to get really crazy with the first success. I am a very private person. I like living a normal life. I love nature, and I just like forgetting who I am when I'm just home nesting and being mom and all that stuff. So, and I love the French language. And Switzerland was a beautiful choice all the way around. Has winter. I love winter.
You do.
It's gorgeous weather. Well, I like. Okay, let's put it this way. Switzerland has a much shorter and temperate winter than I'm used to coming from Northern Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
So it was like really a sweet winter, So it was a great choice, and I got way better at French, and then I ended up having a baby there and stayed.
Yeah. And so you are a Swiss citizen?
No. No,
Still
I'm
Canadian.
Yep, I'm still Canadian.
What's Upper Ontario? What town is that?
Well, Northern Ontario, Canada, has this little town called Timmins, which is a mining town. It's probably got about, I would say maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing around the average of 50,000 people, 55,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the biggest city in Northern Ontario that we would know?
Toronto.
Toronto's Northern.
Is that northern?
Yeah, that would be like a 10-hour drive south.
So
Yeah.
you're really north.
Oh, yes.
Got it.
So now, I think it was 2 years ago or something. It was your a final tour that you did. Are you going to tour on the new album now?
I will tour again. When I did the last tour, I was coming out of a Las Vegas
Yes.
residency, and it was
I
very
missed it.
successful.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, darn it!
I wanted to see it so bad.
Oh, I wish you would have. And I think you would have enjoyed it. So I had a very successful run in Las Vegas, but it was a controlled environment.
Sure.
The theater is humidified for the vocalists, and the acoustics are superb, and everything's impeccable. So in the first stage effort since dealing with my voice issues, it was a good, safe environment.
Sure.
To take that chance.
And how long was the run?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I got through that, I said, well, I don't want to finish my stage performances in such a safe place. It's such a, maybe I need to get out there just one more time and see if I can do a tour and at least end that way.
Yeah.
Knowing that it would be pushing the limits. So I went out there, I did 75 shows.
Oh my goodness.
And,
That's just testing the waters.
Oh my goodness.
75 shows.
well, my confidence had been built through the
Shania,
Vegas
7
period.
shows is testing the limits. Not 75, darling.
I know, but committing to, I had done way more in Las Vegas.
Sure.
So I figured, okay, let's do this, and then I'll say goodbye. Figuring that I was pushing the limits, knowing that I was going to be now traveling at the same time with all of these other issues.
Sure.
But it was, I surprised myself, and I did better than I
Did you have to
thought.
work to get your voice back, or did you just wake up one day and go, it's coming back? Or did you have to do the work?
Huge physiotherapy, very, very, very hard. I've got to do it every time I sing. I've got to do a very serious physiotherapy every time I sing, and leading up, it's almost like leading up to a tournament. So when I want to do a tour, I've got to, like I'm an athlete, I've got to build up with the physiotherapy. To then it's a lot more work than any singer should have to do, I would say. But I don't know, I'm not ready to give up yet. That's all. And once I knew there was a chance that it would come back, dabbling and playing with the therapy. That was it. I was really encouraged.
What does the physiotherapy entail? What is it?
That's a good question. Okay, so for example, I take a mini trampoline with me on the road.
Like a rebounder?
Well, it's a trampoline. I don't know. Is it called a rebounder?
I think it's like this big.
it's miniature. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that I would do. So normally a vocalist would do warm ups like, I don't know, and the little thing trills and up and down scales and so on, like typical warm up things. So I do all of that, jumping on the trampoline. So that helps drop the larynx. So I'm dealing with all of the anatomy around the larynx that is tensed up, compensating for the weakness in the vocal cords. So I've got to loosen that all up, and then I've got to do exercise that build up I got to blow bubbles in a bottle with a straw. A lot of it is speech therapy based. So if you put Pilates, speech therapy, and singing warm-ups all in one workout. It's a workout. It's a full physical workout.
Long, too.
It's long. I need to do that for an hour and a half before each show.
You are kidding me.
No.
I was thinking maybe half an hour.
Oh, no. And I'm exhausted when I'm...
And then you do
know.
what, a 2 hour, hour and a half, 2 hour
Yes,
show?
exactly. So that's why I didn't think I was going to be able to do a tour.
Right.
And when I went out and I did it, I had to build my stamina up, obviously. So I really have to be so physically fit for a tour.
Superwoman.
Oh my! So you are going to tour with the Now album
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Good girl.
all over the world, all over the world.
It's going to be an international tour. So
Oh my goodness! So we're going to let you go, but do you think that your son is going to get into the business?
He is so obsessed with music. He makes music. He's not a performer. He doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with being a performer. He writes, arranges, and
Does he
programs
have
all
that
his own
mama
music.
talent?
He's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't want to jinx him, but he's really super talented. Like there's a lot of things that he can do at 16 that I could never do. I still
Really?
can't do. Oh no, it's awesome. Like he listens to Hans Zimmer and
Yeah.
really complicated music. He's just got a very complicated vision of music, and yeah, I mean, he arranges everything. It's impressive. I'm impressed.
Well, the album is called Now. I implore everyone out there to pick it up immediately. The Queen is back. And I think you are the bee's knees. Just such a great human being. Your energy is so great. Your talent is so great. And, you know, I think that, I think the fact that, you know, there have been, you know, happenings in your life that have challenged you. I think it's, the greats those things are drawn to you only to prove how great you are.
It's about grit.
It's about grit,
yeah.
and you've overcome all that. And the fact that you still say, you know what, I'm still going to do it. That says everything that everyone out there who may be going through some things needs to hear.
And the chance to talk about things openly and share with each other.
Yeah.
You know, because we need to know we're not alone in any
Absolutely.
struggle, right? Like it's struggle and triumph, but I mean, we don't triumph alone. We need support, and it does feel really good to share. So
it really does.
I love that.
Because it's the secrets that really kill us and that really fester, you know.
And you talking about the limes and what you went through is going to help people that are going through it as well.
exactly. I mean, you know, just be more open about your weaknesses. It's okay. And
Sure.
I think that's more empowering. I think it shows more strength to say, look, you know, I've got a weak spot here.
Yeah.
And this is what I got to work on. This is what I got to do to work with it. And it just helps other people not feel so alone. I believe in that.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you, Shania Twain. It was a pleasure talking to
Awesome.
you. Until next time.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.